Well, in Nigeria, this January alone, Nigeria has experienced not one, but two petrol tanker explosions that has left in its wake thousands of charred bodies and heartbroken Nigerians. Well, we're going to take a deep dive into this conversation, and we're talking about fuel tankers, explosions, and accidents overhauling Nigeria's road haulage system. And our guest is Prince Archie Julius Ogu. He is the CEO, Road Safety NGOs in Nigeria, COSAN. He joins us via Zoom. Good morning, Prince Ogu. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Can you
good
hear me
morning.
clearly?
I hear you clearly, very clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Prince Ogu, you are the CEO, Road Safety NGOs in Nigeria, COSAN. Can you just explain to us what your organization stands for, more like the mandate of your organization, talking about COSAN?
Yes, a big correction is CEO, Accident Prevention Network. Then I also share the coalition with teams. Our mandate is to ensure free road safety, free road usage by Nigerians for ensure that the roads are safe. I would raise advocacy for so the state of is only within our own
All right. All right, so thank you very much for that explanation. Now, the question on everyone's lips is, why are we still taking or transporting petrol and other flammable products in fuel tankers rather than in pipelines? We know as far back as hundreds of years back, America actually transited from railroads, bearing these products on railroads to pipelines. And here we are in 2025, we are still transporting products using fuel tankers. What is your take on that? Why do you think that still subsists in Nigeria, given the time and the age we're in?
Well, it's a very big challenge, and we need to wake up to that responsibility as a country. It's not about blaming one government or the other, but the fact remains that we need to evolve into the modern age, either by rail or pipelines. That is the two major ways fuel are supposed to be, transported. But unfortunately, here we are in the 21st century, moving fuel by trucks, and you see people dying every day. And most of the trucks even are substandard. The trucks are not in order, and we don't have of our roads. It's a terrible situation. The government need to wake up to that responsibility and take a step. I know it cannot be done in one day, but let them take a step towards doing this so that we know that yes, it's in process, it's work in process. Because it is now, although they are working on the rail and all that, but they need to fast track the process. Because it's a terrible situation. We've seen, people here. You call the National Research Agency to enhance, their advocacy, telling people not to scoff fuel or get themselves involved. About the that remains that substandard vehicle should not be allowed to load from the depot. That is another step of preventing all this kind of situation, because a lot of that is lost. Properties are being destroyed, and the economic is on here and there. So it's a very big issue that we have to, and the government of the day need to wake up to that responsibility.
All right. It's of course obvious that we've had too many petrol tanker explosions. One too many this month. We didn't have just one. We had two tanker explosions. First one was in Niger, and then in Enugu State. Has there been a formal inquiry as to the reasons, the root cause analysis? Could it be negligence? Could it be external factors? Has there been a panel of inquiry of some sort to find out the root cause of these petrol tanker accidents?
I don't think, basically, the government very well are trying their best, but the fact is this: we know what the problem is. It's not the rocket science. We know what the problem is. Most of these tankers are outdated. Nigeria is like a dumping ground for used vehicles. In developed countries, there are periods you use a car before, or a truck, then they take it off the road. And if they take it, it comes to Africa, especially in Nigeria here. Most of the trucks you are seeing there are updated. So they need to phase them out and then make provision for us. So the situation. If you look at start from the scene on our road, a lot of accidents happens. Many of these trucks fail brakes at the point because they are exhausted, they are weak and dumped over there in Europe before they bring them over to the street. So the government need to phase out some of these trucks that are causing hazards and killing our people on the highway. That is the first thing. And the government even need to set up a kind of a committee or to look into this matter urgently. Working with critical stakeholders is very, very important, so that we know what to start from, what to do in the short term. There are short-term solutions and long-term solutions. They need to look at both. For example, what is the immediate solution in short term? Most of these trucks can be stopped from loading at the loading stations. Where they go to depot, where they load all this. If your truck can be checked, the road safety personnel and other organizations that are responsible for enforcement can be in those places to stop substandard trucks or outdated trucks from loading. That is number one. Number two, on the highway, their activities need to be seriously monitored. Activities of the vehicle need to be monitored on the highway. So know how to get out of this stuff. The government, they are the enforcement agencies. They have all the authority to do what it takes. But how and when are they going to do this? That's the question. So that is our concern. To wake up their responsibilities on this issue, because more will still happen. Much more will happen. Because as the years goes by, this truck gets weaker and weaker and weaker. That is the point. And they are overworking them because they've been used over there. Their lifespan has expired. So that's where we find ourselves. It's all about the government. We are ready to give them all the necessary support, the ideas, and what it takes to move on.
All right, Prince Ogo. What I can actually pick out that actually stood out from your explanation was the fact that most of these vehicles are old and worn out, speaking to roadworthiness. Now, what are the agencies, responsible for ensuring high, roadworthiness, standards for these trucks? Because someone probably, okayed these trucks to move products when it did. So what are the agencies, or one agency who is responsible, saddled with oversight functions in terms of roadworthiness of these vehicles?
Now, most of them, they are there. Basically, we have the road safety, we have the VIO, we have the states all over the country now. We have these who are responsible for it. But basically, they need to synergize, come together, and carry out this enforcement. Enforcement is the authorities. I don't know whether it's part of their mandate. I don't know if it's part of their mandate to very clear standard, because there's nothing you can do about this. It's not about maintenance. Even a new vehicle requires maintenance. Talk less of the one that is outdated. Or the the body is weak, the engine is weak, the panels are weak, and a small thing, they will turn off, they will go off the road. So the enforcement agencies are expected to come out holistically. The presidency need to direct all enforcement agencies to come out with their numbers and take out all these vehicles on the road as soon as possible to avoid future occurrence, because it's going to happen again and again and again. There's no, it's not about it's not about we do this. You know where the problem is, and we need to take it headlong and see how we can solve it. It's not about going to pray or something else. You know, what we are talking about is vehicles, and then more that's the point of the matter. And the ones that are in now need to be out, and those that are in order need to be maintained. Again, that is the drivers who drive these vehicles. Most of them are on drugs, they are on alcohol, and all manner of things. Are fatigued, they don't sleep, they overwork themselves. So sometimes they go off the way. There are a lot of us responsible for this incident that is happening. And then it involves consumer properties and economic disruption, and even loss to those who are doing the business. Because if you have 5 trucks on the way and one is down, constantly they have a loss. So that
people argue that trucks or vehicles conveying flammable products should ply only at night. Now, do you think this is achievable in Nigeria? Do you think there should be some kind of legislation into ensuring that some of these vehicles carrying flammable products ply only at night? At least, if anything, should anything happen, there should be zero or very minimal fatality. What are your thoughts on this?
That trucks has to it's not sustainable. Like even in Abuja here, you know, a law was in place sometime that they should move at night. After some time, you see them in the day again. If no one moves, they will come out again and start moving in the daytime. Why? Because they don't know whether the agencies that are supposed to enforce are compliant, or those who are doing their way in the day. So it's something that it's a terrible situation. It's a good idea to enforce, but the issue there is, even if there's a legislation, will it be enforced? Will it be is it sustainable? You know, that is the question. Moving at night is okay if they can. It will reduce the tragedy, but is it sustainable? Will they comply with the directive? Some can bribe their way out, and you see them on the road in the day. If people charge the police, the and all of them, if they can see Nigerians and force the masses, can challenge it and call any whatever that is around attention to it. Is another way of reducing it. Not the long term. It will help to some extent.
All right. Now, it's from our conversation, it's safe to say that these explosions were actually caused by human negligence. There are other factors, but then mostly human negligence. Now, can your organization be able to call out these agencies, even if it doesn't go as far as suing them if there are grounds to sue, but can organizations, civil societies come together and call out some of these agencies who probably neglected, sure signs and permitted these vehicles? Can you call them out on whichever platform? And if you would, can you walk us through, the protocol?
No, definitely we are working with them inside Nigeria. We are partnered with so many of them. The Ministry of Transport, the road safety, and all that. We are working with them closely, and we have sometimes stakeholders meetings and all that. So we are trying our best to relate to them, and they are seeing what is happening, and we are passing these ideas. I mean, sharing these ideas with them to see how this tragedy is reduced. But like I said, sustenance is a challenge. Sustaining the effort is a very big challenge. You know, when start, they will hear you implement all those kind of stuff. They will start in a short time. You see that everything go back to square one. So the government, the government, the local governments, all the governments, something like on this spot. It's just that it's like we don't value life much in this country. An area that they value life, even one person's life is important. But here you see 100 and something dying every day. Keep hearing this. So there are a lot of things that a lot of action needs to be taken. A lot of actions need to be taken by these agencies. Constant pressure need to be on them to ensure that they wake up to their responsibilities, not just awareness creation. This organization need to wake up to their responsibilities, and the masses to have a lot of role to play. If you remember in the days of Edia, war against discipline succeeded because you cannot piss on the road, you cannot paper anywhere, you have to be queue, and that's when queue started in Nigeria. And it has to do with the masses. Everybody need to get involved, but the authorities concerned need to see the ball rolling. And the solution, as far as I'm concerned, is the unloading depot. Substandard vehicles should not be allowed to load from those depots to be phased out of the system. That is a major in addressing this problem.
Yes. Now, it seems to me what you just explained is more like an advocacy visit to these agencies to, talk to them to make them do better. What I was actually referring to is, since it's obvious that they are culpable, or assuming a panel of inquiry comes out with recommendations to say that this and this and this agency is culpable, are they now liable in a court of law? Can they be sued? And if they can be sued, who is authorized to sue them?
No, there have been several times now. In Abuja, the BIU has been actions of forcing or simple vehicle has been nullified. You just see them on the road, they cannot enforce. People have been suing and taking them to court on different aspects of it. It doesn't solve the problem. Taking them to court or suing them doesn't solve the problem. Taking them to court or suing them doesn't solve the problem. The issue is addressing the cause of this problem, and the government at the top, getting themselves involved holistically by addressing these issues. That is my view. How we can get these issues resolved. Suing them is not, I don't think is a right step to take. And the problem continues. People have been suing these people day and night. So it's not about suing them. It's not a solution, except in short, I don't think it's not a solution.
Let's talk about the drivers. Are they trained for emergencies like accidents or petrol spills? Are there protocols are they trained to carry out such and such steps once they have, accidents on the road, if they can't help it? Because I remember when that of Enugu happened, I know the executive governor of Enugu State came out and insisted that there must be anti-spill locks. So what really are anti-spill locks? Are they available in Nigeria, and are drivers actually trained for emergencies like this?
Yes, locks are just to ensure that there's no speed village, and the locks that are supposed to be on the taps or the trucks where the freight on site and all that. They can always bring them. They can bring out the locks. The governor quickly responded and went out with his ideas. They can always import those things, or they can develop a local standard to ensure that when the sounds are not, I don't think they are trained. What they do is to escape. Every time they have they look for a way to escape, but they don't see any solution. They don't say people get burnt, 200 people get burnt, all those kind of stuff. The drivers are not there. They are very aware that that was But people feel you come there, I don't come and pack come with all those kind of this. There is so much pocket from nowhere. I hit there and the thing will explode. So the drivers need to be trained. They need to be trained on emergencies. What is such happen? What's the next step they take? What is it to do when you lose control? These are issues that should be addressed. Not those people say you have been trained. They will train with a certificate to prove that yes. They go to when this is training is a big point you just mentioned. The training of the drivers, very, very important in respect of this issue.
Thank you, Prince Ogu. But very quickly before we let you go, because we are running out of time, what will be your advice to commuters and other road users who have to share the highway with these petrol tankers and fuel tank operators? How are they to protect themselves meanwhile, while Nigeria works towards better transportation of these products? In 2 minutes, please.
Yes, they should not drag the road with trucks. Maintain your lane. Don't drag the highway with trailers. Don't claim rights on the way. It's only a living man, a man that is alive that says the story after the crash. That's the point. Stay alive, drive safely. Don't drag the road with any truck. Maintain your lane and give them the right of way anywhere you see them. Truck is coming over my field brake, and you say, this is my right, this is my lane. You don't want to leave, it's going to crush. Give them their right of way on the highway. Most of them are not. That is it. You are sharing a road, the same road with the vehicle that is under the vehicle that is used. They are you give me the right of way.
Ache Ogu, for your very wonderful insights into this subject matter. Thank you. All right, you heard him. Do not drag the right of way with petrol tanker drivers, and no road rages. It's better to be alive and safe than to be sorry. All right, New Day continues right after the short break. To stay with us.